Hello everyone, and welcome back to 2 Point Hospital. Welcome back to Grockle Bay. We are on the 2-star objectives, and we have already attained a hospital value of $2 million. We have to get our attractiveness up over 70%, get a better reputation and a decent cure rate. This shouldn't take us too long. We're doing pretty well. The reputation's obviously the thing that we need to watch out for, but we can focus on getting our hospital attractiveness up like immediately. We do have to watch out because the attractiveness is going to drop pretty rapidly when all of these buildings are completed. You can see them starting to come up now. I'm guessing the hospital attractiveness should drop pretty imminently. We have put in another GP's office just to cope with the demand because queues are starting to form. Not something that's, worrying right now, so it's not too much of an issue. Being asked to get a level 4 fluid analysis, so I'm going to build that now, actually. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Knew I had one somewhere. And this one's a diagnosis room. So we may have to do a little bit of sorting in all of our rooms just to make sure that we've got everything in the right place and we can improve the flow of traffic through the hospital itself. I'm going to put this one here. And that was easy. One staff request complete. And we are doing pretty good on the Emperor Complex patients as well, so that's good. We've got a staff promotion, a health inspection, a DNA lab requirement. We'll leave everything as is. Don't know what's going on with my janitors, but they're not really doing the job. We are getting a lot of requests for a surgery, so we're going to go put one in now. This one, actually, yeah, this is my 5-star surgery, which I've already kind of designed as I've done with all of my other kind of 5-star stuff. So we'll just put that one in. It does cut off that tiny section of the hospital, but that's dead space anyway, so we don't really need to worry about that. We're going to bring in a surgeon now, and then I think we'll hire a few more doctors because I'm expecting to need to use them. We might as well bring them in. And now we're going to build our DNA lab. Again, another one that we're getting a lot of requirements for and demands for. This is all going to increase our hospital value, and again, we'll start using it towards getting our reputation up. Now, the DNA lab is really difficult. It's got one of the most difficult ones to cure that you get in there, like the most difficult illnesses. So that's going to be a tough challenge to kind of bring to this next step. We're getting people dying and stuff as well, which isn't great. I'm going to do some training because I don't think we have anyone trained in genetics. No, we don't. So let's get that one done. I do have a student doctor here and another student doctor, so we'll have them both trained in genetics and just use them in that room itself. And yeah, so one of the things that I've noticed, and the reason for it is not actually to do with the toilets and the fact that we only have one. It's to do with our laxative drinks machine, which is causing everybody to need the toilet, and that's why we have these huge crowds around here. That was a very silly idea. We're going to put another amusing snack machine in because these increase entertainment value and reduce boredom, so that'll keep people happy, entertained, stop them getting bored. We don't have any other laxative drinks machines. I think that was just a failed experiment of mine, mainly because I wanted to keep the health level of my patients up by using those laxative drinks machines, but it's just caused such a backlog at the toilet and made so much extra work for my janitors. I mean, look at the state of this. This is an absolute joke. Like, what have I done here? God, it's terrible.
Warning, the hospital is
We've got a fire? Where's the fire? My game's saved and frozen a little bit. Nice. Where is it? Oh god, the DNA lab's on fire. Oh Jesus, all of my janitors are in training. What have I done? We're gonna have to hire another janitor. They're all getting trained up there in efficiency or something. Let's get a janitor in and hope that Brangelina Massive, Nigella Lovecraft, what a great name, we'll put you in there, and hopefully they'll grab it. Oh, wait a minute. There's already one there. Well, that was a pointless hire. Oh well. Okay, we're not getting a lot of new illnesses in at the moment, and we're kind of at a bit of a backlog and stuff, so we're losing money, and I think it's probably about time we put our prices up. This is obviously going to tank our reputation, which we are starting to recover, so it's a little bit of an issue, but I think we should just tank it, get our hospital value back up, and be able to expand and do all of the training that we need to do, and that'll hopefully get us out of this little kind of up and down roller coastery type thing that we're going through. Also gives us an opportunity to address some of the queues and yeah, like I already said, get our staff trained up nicely so that we're getting a better cure rate, better diagnosis options and all of that sort of juicy stuff to get that hospital up. As you can see, I've done my customary sending a load of people home because this has gotten a bit tough. And one of my tips really for playing this game is don't be afraid to do this. If you're getting a lot of patients that are spending too long in your hospital and they're unable to get through that cure rate quick enough to stop their health dropping too much. Obviously, we didn't have this problem when we had the laxative drinks machine in. I'm kind of seeing the effectiveness of those machines. We didn't have a lot of people with low health. And, oh god, our helix is on fire again? What is going on with this machine? Come on. Somebody come and... Oh god. The fires are everywhere. Somebody please just get in... You've just taken the fire extinguisher from the surgery and that's going to put that fire out, which is good. You can see we're in debt again, so the decision to increase our prices is probably a good one. I can't afford a fire extinguisher. Oh god. The fluid accelerator's blown up. The wheels are coming off a little bit, folks. We can't afford a new fluid accelerator either, and we kind of need to wait for that rubble to be cleared by our mechanics. So yeah, fire extinguishers are a must. You can have them in other rooms and janitors will go and grab them. I'll just say, if you're planning on being fast and loose with the finances, make sure you have some fire extinguishers dotted around so that janitors can run out and grab them and bring them into the rooms. And everything else is kind of tanked here. The hospital attractiveness is still holding strong, so that's good. Let's get another fluid accelerator in. Now, the problem with this is when a machine explodes, you have to buy a new one. That means you have to upgrade it again. So it's always better to make sure that you are able to put out any fires where possible, because you then have to spend the money upgrading everything again. As you can see, we've got a lot of staff required to go into these diagnosis rooms, and it could be because they're all on a break. Maybe I should have more staff rooms put in. We can afford our fluid accelerator now though, so that's good. I'm going to put that back in now. But yeah, this has turned into a little bit of a nightmare, I think. And we just need to refocus and work out what we're doing. Okay, our reputation's already shot to shit, so I'm going to put all of my prices up to 100% more expensive. Let's try and build up some money and do a nice training push and an expansion push and get more rooms put in, more staff that are well trained, and see if we can actually address this situation, because we're kind of stuck in this limbo at the moment. I'm going to do a load more training, a load more upgrades, and get these rooms fleshed out really well. We can't afford any training at the moment, but we are going to need to boost our diagnosis and boost our treatment skill on all of our staff. And I think that's just going to be the best thing to do, because we're up and down and up and down and up and down, and it's taken us a long time to get anywhere. Right, so our hospital value's back up. The cure rate's getting steadily better, which is really good. Now we just need to sort out our reputation. You can see I've already put in a load of sculptures and things. Obviously, that's just keeping our attractiveness up. I don't know if I've shown you that yet. I did that off cam. But next up, we just need to get that reputation back up. The cure rate's going to follow because we've trained our staff up quite nicely. We've got a nice amount of money in the bank now, $400,000 there. So we should be able to sort this out. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to do our speed build and our redevelopment a little bit early before we hit this 2-star rating now, because I think we're just going to be constantly stuck in this loop of things getting better, then getting worse again, and so on and so forth. So once this earthquake's cleared, I am going to redevelop the hospital. We're going to get a better patient flow going throughout, with diagnosis rooms leading into more diagnosis rooms, eventually leading into treatment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore those 2 rooms on the right, and we're going to try and focus everything in this middle section here. Our main room, where all the diagnosis currently is, will be, again, GPs, officers, basic diagnosis. We'll then explain to you exactly what I'm going to do moving forward. So one of the main issues that we're having is the actual layout of the buildings themselves and where the doors and stuff are. And that's making it difficult for us to fit in all of our rooms. So we're having to make everything like a little bit more tight and compact. We're moving around a load of GP's offices. You can see we've already extended the toilets in that main building. We're then going to move some more diagnosis rooms into this area, shift out this psychiatrist office, and then move in another general diagnosis. We're then going to extend our reception desk so we can fit in another few pods and actually upgrade that to a level 5 reception room. This should improve everything a little bit more, as well as the patient flow. We're then going to start moving all of our treatment-specific rooms into some of the further buildings in the hospital itself, like right at the back. Keeping all of our diagnosis rooms and stuff in one compact space, including this little wing here. We'll then move up, once again, all of our treatment rooms. We're not actually putting in a load of new rooms or making any additional developments here. We're just rearranging things. Now, we will eventually put more treatment rooms in as this speed build progresses, but I just want to make sure that everything has a little bit more of an efficient layout as we're moving on. Obviously, when we move rooms, we've got to do a few adjustments and things to shift doorways around to make everything work a little bit better. But I think we can just about cram most of our treatment rooms into one space, as long as we are conservative with where we put them and make sure that we have plenty of areas for these things to actually work in. So here we're just adjusting a few different items in the pest control, and then we should be able to bring the shop clinic in, creating new corridors and things that are quite spacious at the same time, so we can still fit in plenty of benches and other rooms as well. Again, we're going to do a little mix of treatment and diagnosis in that first wing in between the main diagnosis rooms and this all treatment room. So once again, we're keeping that flow going throughout, and then at the back here we've put in some of our larger treatment rooms like the surgery, the fracture clinic, and all of that sort of stuff. The x-ray is a little bit of a difficult one to fit in, but we can cram it in this first series of diagnosis rooms. We're then going to put in a few more diagnosis rooms like the mega scanner. We may end up needing to put 2 of these in, and I will just kind of book my own trend and put one in that top area where the last lot of treatment rooms are, because I don't want to expand too much and just have one room shoved in a wing on its own. Over in this area here where I'm just removing the busts and stuff, we're just going to leave that blank for now. I didn't want to move traffic into that building yet when I've got buildings here that I can use. We're going to put in another toilet block, just a small one down here. I'm not bothered about increasing the prestige level of that. I just want to make sure that I've got toilet blocks in all of these buildings for now. Not that I'm planning on putting the laxative machines back in, but they definitely helped. I'm going to build a new staff room here that's going to be quite weirdly shaped, but it will do, and I'll try and push that up to level 5 because my staff, I want to keep them as happy as possible, and by giving them a prestige level 5 room, it's going to make life a little bit easier, and they'll spend less time on their breaks because they're happier in those rooms. It also means when they leave, they'll leave happy, ready to work again, and that should keep our cure rate up. So the cure rate, as I'm learning, I think I'm just spitballing here because I don't do my research. I like to learn as I play, but from my experience, your cure rate is influenced by not just the health of your patients and the ability of your staff, but also the happiness. So if you keep your guests happy and your staff happy, that impacts the ability for cures to be successful and staff to do their jobs properly, and also guests to actually want to be cured. I imagine. I don't know. I could be totally wrong about it. But happy patients and happy staff mean better cure rate, chances, and better working conditions for your staff, basically. So I'm replacing all of my machines with the luxury drinks machines and the luxury food machine. Again, this will bring us in more profit because those machines are the most expensive ones to buy stuff from, but also it'll make people happy. They're always happier when they have higher quality food and higher quality drinks to have. We'll then start putting in lots of chairs, benches and stuff to make sure that everything is working properly for them. And I think doing this here, it'll make the push to that 3-star goal a little bit easier. We haven't even attained the 2-star objective yet. This one's been quite difficult, but I'm pretty confident that once we've done this, we can pretty much get this all finished. And I'm hoping that in the future, when I move into the next level, which I believe is Blighton, I'll be able to do this sort of thing from the off and not have to do these like redevelopment phases. But you'll probably have noticed now that I'm cutting lots of in-betweeny bits out of these videos because you spend a lot of time waiting on these missions for tasks to actually just naturally complete. And you could kind of try and, I don't know, brute force it and put a load of rooms in and hire a load of staff and in the hope that things just develop really quickly. And actually, now that I've got all of my blueprints, I could probably do that. But literally a lot of it is waiting. That hospital value only updates kind of like on a monthly basis, so you kind of need to wait for that to come through. You're then waiting for your cure rate to go up, which is based on the last 20 patients you're cured. So if I've sent a load home, that affects that cure rate and drops it all the way down. And the reputation, again, that's something that just fluctuates as you play. So all of these things just kind of involve you waiting for time to pass for an objective to complete. And I'm trying just to show the essential bits, basically, so that you guys can see how I've done it, not when I'm doing it, if that makes any sense at all. Which is why I've started doing these little speed buildy type things where we do the redevelopments. And you don't necessarily have to do all of these things in here, but they do actually... Your hospital attractiveness is based on your overall blueprint and footprint within the map. So I could have these 4 or 5 buildings that I'm using really well decorated, but the empty buildings would still impact my hospital attractiveness. Same with thermal comfort rating, which is why, again, I don't necessarily need to be putting aircon in because thermal comfort's not actually a requirement.
I felt the effects of that earthquake all the way over
so
here.
we've redeveloped somewhat, and things are hopefully going to start moving a little bit better through here. New rooms we've added are the X-ray machine and the mega scanner. We're going to immediately upgrade both of these. But hopefully that will now solve some of the issues we have with traffic. Obviously we still have to get our hospital attractiveness back up, so we're going to do that now by putting in some decorative items. Namely a couple of sculptures and stuff here and there. Right, so our cure rate is up, our hospital value is up. Now it's time to get our prices adjusted. We're going to drop them down 20% and hope that the reputation starts to increase before our hospital value drops to a point where it's not good when you compare it with our expenses. We only made $11,000 last month, and that was the month we reduced the prices. So I'm expecting next month is going to be even worse, and we may actually end up losing money. As you can see, our hospital value drops as well. Let's see what we end up with.
We're close to awards.
Okay, we still made a profit, so that's pretty good. What did we win in terms of awards? Oh, nice. We did really well this year. And again, mainly due to increasing the modifying the flow of people traffic through the hospital. So we're going to reduce all of our prices down to 50% less. And let's get some more training. Got some doing treatment 3 and surgery 2. Let's get both of our surgeons in. Surgery 2. Reputation now starting to creep up. 3% at the moment. Cure rate starting to bump up a little bit as well. And this is it. It's just a waiting game. One of the things about this and doing like a playthrough of it is once you get to this stage, it is literally just a waiting game. I mean, I could put more rooms in, but putting in more rooms means more doctors and more training and more to manage. So really we kind of have to get our core staff fully trained all the way up. I kind of want to get in one more doctor. We'll get this one in, and then we'll maybe get some more nurses. We'll have a treatment, a diagnosis,
Looking for a fun day out for all the family, I guess.
and then we'll
Come
take
to
on this
Grockle
one as
Bay
well.
Zoo and see stunt monkeys.
Yeah, that looks good.
Whale pigs.
Okay, so as you can see, we've sent a load more people home, and I think that's probably for the best. But if you look now, our hospital value is at 2 million, the attractiveness is 70%, and our cure rate is the only thing we need to do. I'm going to drop the diagnosis threshold for treatment as well. Reputation's high. That's because of our price reductions. I'm going to make sure that we don't want staff to leave rooms when they're idle, and we're going to fast track the treatment decision. I think that's probably the best thing to do. That should help with our cures. we'll get people getting cured quicker, and less time will be spent going back and forth to GP's offices. That's something I should have done ages ago. It may have prevented all of that issue that I was having earlier on. You can see here we have a fairly sizable queue building up at reception, so we may need to expand on that. But it really is just now a case of getting our cure rate up, and then we should be okay. And as long as we can stop the value of the hospital dropping down, I think we'll be fine. I'm going to train some staff members in treatment level 3, because that's going to influence our cure rate as long as those staff members are working in the correct field, which is something else I could look at. Another one that I'm going to try and do next time when we start our new level is just make sure that I'm specializing staff from the off. So I may go slow and train people as I go and only bring in student doctors. Well, that was what I really liked about like Mitten University, is you only got student doctors and you had to train them up as you go. I think that might be the best thing for us to do. I'm bringing another assistant in because one's just gone on a break and the queues are a little bit mad. And we're gonna put a little reception desk in here just to cope with the flow, and get another assistant in to work on that, and that should hopefully... Can we fit another reception desk in? I should just expand the reception room, but I'm not really focusing on doing that right now. We're so close to that 2-star objective. I can do like a little bit of a development. We've already done the big push here, so it's not too much of an issue. I just want to thin the crowds out a little bit, because our reputation is high now, which means we're getting more people coming in, and that's the tightrope that you walk between having a good reputation, cure rate, prices, all of that sort of stuff. It is quite a delicate balance, but once you get it right, you get it right. This isn't helping our cure rate though. 2 deaths drops our cure rate, and oh, we done it, we did it, amazing. So 2-star hospital. I'm going to jump ahead now to just before our 3-star objective is complete, because they're exactly the same, just higher. Cure rate of 90%, reputation of 90, hospital attractiveness of 80, and a hospital value of 4 million. Now that we're getting people trained though, it should be a lot easier, because our cure rate and our reputation are going to increase in tandem. The hospital attractiveness and the value will go up as we're curing patients and taking in more money. So we are very close. Once again, it's the cure rate that we're relying on, but we are training a lot more people in treatment now, and I think we're probably going to get it very soon. Just going to see what courses I've got available. Maybe some diagnostics 3 would help, and we can actually... I'll bring in a guest trainer because all of our nurses are busy, and we will train both of these nurses in diagnostics, but I think we're probably going to get it done now. Taking a long time. This was a very long level, and I thought it was going to be quite an easy one based on the experience that we'd had at Sweaty Palms, which was the more difficult of the two. But there we have it, 3-star objective complete. I'm going to tell you exactly what we did. There wasn't a lot of change, but yeah, we've done it. We've unlocked the Cubism Anatomy poster, and happy days. We've completed the level. And we move on to Blighton, the last one in World 4 of 2 Point Hospital. Once I've finished the main game, I'll be doing the DLC, so look out for that one. But also 2 Point Campus is out now, so we're going to be playing that as well, and as well as Planet Zoo and a few other bits and pieces. So epidemic warning, I'm just going to ignore that, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I did. We're going to pause now. So I added another X-ray machine, we added another DNA lab, and another mega scanner. We also put in a couple more GP's offices in this wing, and another ward. We were getting a lot more people coming in. Another fracture clinic went down. As you can see, our queues at the moment, our main queues are at the injection room, the mega scanner, the surgery, and both of our X-ray machines are pretty tapped out at the moment as well. So we could continue to expand, put in some more rooms, hire some more staff if we wanted to really max this one out, but I'm pretty happy with how things are right now. We've done a really good job on this one and gotten through a couple of rough patches where I thought we may be going bankrupt, but we rode our luck at times and we did it, and I'm really happy with it. And I hope you enjoyed watching this one. It's been a lot of fun to do, and it was a really challenging level, and I really like it. I love this game so much. It's got nice... you just don't get a lot of time to really appreciate how much of a good game it is because you're so focused on completing these objectives. So once I'm all done with it, I may do some aesthetically pleasing hospitals. But there's also the remix versions of the game where you are just treating waves and waves of patients in a sort of challenge mode, which I could look at as well. But I hope you enjoyed this one, and that's enough rambling from me. I will see you in the next episode of 2 Point Hospital or anything else you watch on the channel. Don't forget, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, whatever they call it in YouTube terms. I'd really appreciate your interactions with the channel. I'll see you later. Bye bye.